We are drawing the octopus. Let's start with an O. It's actually an oval shape. We're putting it on a little bit of a tilt. And then we're going to come over. That's going to be the body. Make sure it's big enough and that egg shape. Come over just a little bit. I make a mark there. Now I'm going to make a triangle. So I make my triangle. So I have an oval here and a nice big triangle. All right, now we're going to put in the area for the eyes. So I'm making a little dip coming up on both sides. That's going to be where the eyes go. And then I'm going to make a line that's going to be connected to where those eyes go, and that's going to be the body. There's the one eye that we're going to be able to see. And I'm just going to come down here. The other eye we're not going to see, so I'm just going to make an indication and then come down on like that cape and for one leg. And let's see, and the other one down here. And yeah, you can't see that, so I'm going to adjust my paper here. There, now you can see the leg. So that's 2, and we'll curve this one out over here. 3. There's another one, 4. Let's see, and this one, there were 5, and one right behind it, I guess. Yeah, there we go. That's going to go behind it. All right. That's 6, and then 2 behind it, 7 and 8. Octopus, octo meaning 8. We count them, we have 8 legs. Now we made this triangle because the octopus have like a cape. So many people, when they draw the octopus, they just make a circle for the head and make 8 legs coming right off of it. But there's this cape, and it goes down. The legs actually kind of start up into that cape, and then they come out into these long legs or tentacles. You know, an octopus, they lose one of these and they can grow another one. Octopus are such unique animals. And we're just giving a little indication of the 2 in the back, because he does have a more of a radial symmetry if you go from his beak, which is the under part, that is his mouth, out. And then I'm going to make a line here coming up for this one, and just kind of point it at the end. And let's see, yeah, bringing that one a little bit more. Let's do some erasing. Get rid of some of these guidelines. Clean it up before we start with our painting. And that big circle, that is the body. That's where his organs go, including his 3 hearts. Octopus have blue blood, and they have 3 hearts. Very unique animals. People always think that big bulbous thing is the head, but it is the body. And there's another part that comes off to that tentacle right there. So I'm just adjusting my drawing lines. And let's see. Yeah, and then he's got the siphon, which is the place where the water goes in and out so we can breathe. That's right there. That's the siphon. And I got to erase a little bit over here, adjust the width of the arm. Some people call them arms, some people call them tentacles. They actually each have a nerve bundle that works almost like a brain in each arm. They operate independently. Very intelligent animals. They are the most intelligent of all the invertebrates, of all those animals that have no backbone. They say they're as smart as a house cat. Now I'm showing you my colors. I'm going to be using dark blue, orange, and red, and some black. And this is the Reeves pan that I use in all my lessons. So let's start off with some orange. Octopus are able to change their colors. So I'm putting in some orange with my big brush. I want to cover a little more area. Use the side of the brush to go down the arms. Put a little bit here, back here on the body. And I'm going to bring it on each arm. Octopus are known as cephalopods. They are in the phylum Mollusca, which is along with the snails and the clams. But the octopus are in the class that is called the head-footed animals, with squid and nautilus and the other interesting little animal, the one that can also change color, the cuttlefish. Now I'm putting a little bit of red on top of my orange, still using the big brush. A little bit more on the legs. We're going to be coming in with some darker tones. This is the warm color, the red and the orange, and we'll be coming in with our cool colors, our dark blue. And I will be leaving a little bit of white as well. So now I've got my little brush, and I'm going to use a little more orange, move it around a little bit, darken it up in some areas, and be a little more exact on these back tentacles. There we go. And yeah, I'm just darkening it up around the siphon there. And bringing it down. There we go. The octopus has the 8 legs, which is similar but different than a squid. The squid has the 8 legs, but also has 2 additional paddles. So they actually have 10 extremities as opposed to the octopus's 8. And most octopus are solitary, and they really don't live that long. The females, when they give, well, when they, not to give birth, but they lay their eggs under a ledge, and then the mother octopus will stay there, not eating, until the eggs are just about ready to hatch, and then she usually expires because of not eating, and all the little baby octopuses hatch. So I'm using a little bit of the lighter color now. We're using all different values of this orange and red, getting a lot of different tones, making it a little darker over here. I'm working off of a photograph of an octopus that is swimming. Octopus come in all different colors, and they have the unique ability to change their colors. They have skin cells called chromatophores, and they're able to camouflage into whatever surroundings they choose. A great way to avoid predators. Because they are a soft-bodied animal, that's what all the phylum Mollusca are. Mollusca means soft-bodied. They have to be wary of predators. So they blend into their surroundings. That, as well as they're able to use a jet propulsion to swim quite quickly, but only in bursts. Then they move along with their legs. I'm going to put some dark color here in the siphon, as you could see inside. When you see a octopus and they're just perched somewhere, you'll usually see that siphon. It looks like a tube coming out as the water goes in and out. I'm using a little more red with my orange to darken it up. Now I'm going to go to the dark blue on my palette. I'm going to be using different shades, different values of the dark blue. So now we're coming in with that cool tones. I'm going to use this for some shading here on the bottom of the body. That body that holds those 3 hearts and his blue blood. I'm using blue, but I'm not showing blood. So I'm just putting a little bit of shadow down there at the bottom. And I'm getting some water on my brush to blend that orange red into the blue so it doesn't look like there's a clear line. Whenever you want to blend your colors, put water on your brush and just stroke between the 2 of them and it'll blend it. Now I'm going to come in on the underside with the dark blue, put in the tip, and just stroke it right down. There is an octopus called the blue-ringed octopus, second most deadly creature in the world for its venom. You get stung by one of those and you're in serious trouble. But it's only found in Australia, like so many of the deadly animals, and he's very tiny. And he's blue, and he has these almost fluorescent yellow rings on him, but very, very small. So I'm using this blue. This shape's part of the cape. Coming down a little bit here on the leg. There we go. Just curving it there. A little bit on the outside, just for a little shadow as well as underneath. There, right on that part. And when the octopus goes for its prey, mainly crab is its favorite food, he will encompass him kind of with the cape. And then the mouth, which is a beak, kind of like a parrot, he engulfs him and then spits out the shell that he doesn't want to eat. And you can often see where an octopus's lair is, or their den, because there's all these shells outside from where he was eating. It's a way to find out where an octopus likes to live. And usually they are solitary, though there are some species that do aggregate where there's quite a few of them together, but they're mostly solitary. All right, let's do the ones up here at the top. They would be coming off of the back, so we're just putting a couple of small arms there. A little bit of the blue. And now we're going to put in that eye. The eye is almost like a slit. I got to get it really black. It's an interesting shape eye. And then I'm just going to put the rim around it in the black. A little bit of shadow next to it. And I'm going to use what's on my brush just to darken up around the siphon. I'm not going to show the other eyeball, just the edge of the eye. Now, to show the suckers on the underside of the legs, I'm using my dark blue and I'm just indicating with short strokes where those suckers are. The suckers are on every tentacle and they're in rows of 2. And I'm just giving an indication of them all along the bottom. These are all the sucker points on the underside of the tentacle. And they can grab things with those. Such a unique animal. There they are. Let's put them down here. You only see one row of them. But just push your brush down with that dark blue. And we'll show a couple as if it's coming up on that side. And a couple more over here. There we go. Octopus can also be very friendly. I know I've seen quite a few videos of divers, and octopus will be curious and come up to them and look at the camera. There we go. I'm doing the 2 rows of them. And then it gets thinner, so I'm only showing one. And up here on this one, just short little strokes to show them. We're not going into full detail on them, but we are showing the underside of these legs. Just a little bit there. And just define the top a little bit. And a little bit there on that one. I'm just using the very tip of my brush to get that fine line. Don't outline it though. There's a broken, very fine line in different areas that you just want to accentuate. I'm using a lighter value of the dark blue to show a little bit of shadow here between the eyes. A little bit there between the body and the head. A little bit underneath. There we go, a little bit more shadow down there. And on the side. Octopus are a delicacy. They're very well known as a food source, a seafood throughout the world. Most octopus are very small, and they'll often take the entire octopus and put them in a fish stew or so that when you eat it, you're eating the whole octopus. And they're soft-bodied, no bones. They do have a little bit of a shell remnant in their body, but it's very, very small. And there we have it on the leg. You can see how I did the paint strokes to show how the legs actually extend all the way up near the head, even though there is that like a cape or cloak. But you can see the darker tones of the red-orange. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just using a bit of the darker red-orange, and I'm putting like splotches. This would be indicative of the chromatophores, the way that the octopus can change its color. So the skin has often these different tones to them. And I'm just kind of pushing little bits of color with my small brush with that red-orange. And a little bit up here. Put a little bit back here on his body. There we go. And gives it some nice texture. And all up through there and along this tentacle, that tentacle. A little more on that area between the dark areas. Fill it in just a little bit up here. A little bit darker. There we go. And put a little bit of dark blue there just to define a little difference between the body and the head. It's a little bit of my washed out blue, just to give it a little more shadow there. Combining the back tentacle. All right, so we have the octopus. Very, very unique animal. I hope you enjoy painting this. Only using a few colors, 1 or 2 brushes. And there we are. Enjoy.